Hi, friends. Happy Mother's Day celebration. Mother's Day is absolutely beautiful, but it is a lot for some of us women, especially if you're doing this alone. Single mom life, even though shared custody experience over here, it's still a lot of work. I got my notes and I'm going to stick to the list. As my daughter tells me when we go food shopping, Mom, just stick to the list. So it's really nice to have them keep you on point, right? Being a mother, it's an embodiment of a love that you can't even describe. And as much as we say things that are complaining and interesting, there's this love that just keeps embodying us and allows us to become more of an exceptional mother, whether it's under pressure, all the responsibilities, the emotional weight. And what happens is we have this nervous system that's constantly being pushed, not only from the children, but from everything else too. I mean, it just feels like there's this button and you got to constantly stay regulated. And that's what we're doing here at Kashmir Hands, as you know. I work with so many women, and I'm one of them. Single motherhood, as you know, shared custody, trying to stay calm while everything around you feels unpredictable. Although, when you're dealing with high conflict individuals, you could learn and master yourself into a skill form to actually predict their next step. And you probably see that with your children too. Like you understand how they're operating through the ages and cycles and peer pressures, and then you kind of predict how they're going to be. And sometimes it's not predictable and you're like, "Oh Lord, where did that just come from?" And then we have to hone it back in, stay regulated so that we keep the environment the way we want it to be inside our household, right? It's a lot. And what I see over and over again is this: women aren't breaking because they're weak, folks. You know that. They're overwhelmed because we have no real support system. Which brings me to an example. Like I always tell my people in relationships, you need to go to YouTube and watch this man, Mark Gunpor, Gunpor. I'm pretty sure. And I think it's called The Tale of Two Minds. And he's like this funny pastor. And he talks about the male brain and the female brain and how we are wired different, period, end of story. Women, our men will not really understand us emotionally and all the way we're wired unless they study it. And men, you're not really going to understand it either unless you study it. So men study female brains, women study male brains, and I tell you, if you go sit down with your partner and watch Mark Gumper, I think it is like an hour or maybe like a 3 hour. It was great, and it's hysterical. Or just ask me a question, I'll send you some resources. So what's happening is that not many of us are getting real support. So therefore, it feels like the cycle continues and it's like an up and down. And when you're overwhelmed, I see this too a lot. I had to learn this. You reach out. You reach out sometimes to the wrong people. And then when you reach out to the wrong people, you kind of like end up suppressing it, or you isolate yourself and don't talk about it anymore, or you just say nobody understands me. But sometimes when you reach out to the wrong people, it also shows you that you're reaching out to the wrong people so that you know how to look for the right people. People who don't understand nervous systems, people who give advice instead of support, people who keep spinning instead of grounding you, those are the wrong people. Okay? And then we could go deeper into that as well. This is why, or a big reason why, I do the work that I do. But I also do it for the children. Because as parents, children are our future. I grew up with Whitney Houston, The Greatest Love of All. I sing that song. It's my trademark. So is Kashmir, Led Zeppelin. And the lyrics to that song, Greatest Love of All, is point blank it. So I've always went inside to learn how I tick and talk, to see how I operate, and persevere by using the power of the mind, the breath, yoga, massage, all the good modalities, supplements, and try to stay the course. We're not perfect. We're going to fall off. But when we fall off, we could be gentle on each other or oneself so that when the children see us, because we're their example, we're their heroes. We are their foundation. And that's where the nervous system regulation is so important. Because your nervous system regulates through simple things, like I just said, breath, movement, and connection. So now come on out of isolation, because the COVID totally put so many of us, including myself, into such an isolation and a mindset where we're isolating. And regardless of why, we could get into those things too. And we could nip those in the bud so we could come out again and help each other out and build our tribes and villages. This is another reason why I'm building the community I'm building. And most mothers are missing consistent connection and guidance, hence going back to maybe reaching out to the wrong people. And I know that we love our spouses and our partners, but the thing is, sometimes they don't understand us. And sometimes we're not getting the support and guidance, not because they're wrong or they're bad. It's just because it's just a lacking in understanding. And there's an energy exchange between women and men, right? When we reach out for guidance. We're different. We're wired different. So what I built inside Kashmir Academy isn't just self-care. It's like an emotional fitness in the mind, the body, the spirit, the breath, the perspective. So we can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results, right? That's insanity. So we have to look between our two ears and see what the conversation's happening going back and forth, especially if we're isolating, to see how we're going to become even better. Not only for ourselves, that's top priority, but our children, so that they have the foundation to grow, especially in the changes that are happening now. Technology is here, and it's not going anywhere. So what we're going to do inside Kashmir Hands Academy, if you're already in there, I made some classrooms they're developing, and I need your help. I need you, and you need me, and that's how it goes, right? That's how things evolve. Life is like a series of conversations. We need to hear from each other in order to know how to create, because we're here to create. That's the first thing that was said in biblical principles, creation, and that's relationships. So how are we going to get what we need if we don't have relationships? And believe me, if you know my story, I hear what I'm saying and I'm living it, and there's a healing journey. We learn how to calm under pressure. Conscious parenting. We pause, reflect, take accountability, understand the psychologies, and then deliver. Building peace. And with all of this, folks, comes wealth. We are here and promise to live in a life of abundance. So I'm just making enough money, that's all I got. Or life is this, life is that, life is this. Like if we keep living in these like chokeholds of limiting conversations in between the two ears, how are you going to get ahead? And if you're still communicating with the same people in that same conversation, how are you going to get ahead? You're going to be swimming in the same pool. So when you grow and evolve out of that pool, you're going to be in a whole nother vibration. And all that's going to fall off, and you're going to be elevated. And things that you liked and disliked, people that you were friends with, you're not friends with, or weren't friends with, and you're friends with now, is just going to be an elevation. And then there's a level of boundaries and understanding of oneself. Don't you want your children to operate that way? Don't we want our children to be self-sufficient, tapped into the power within, to understand health and unhealth, to know how to spot out manipulators, liars, scam artists, to be mindful of what's going on with technology, with AI, because we have to be ahead of them. So in order to be ahead of them, we have to learn. And yes, that's emotional fitness. That's an exercise that not many want to do. But guess what? I'm making it a little bit easier for you in the Kashmir Hands Academy. I'm doing the work, folks. And I have no problem doing that. Hours and hours and hours of investment of my time. I sunk ships. I'm sacrificing things for your well-being, for the children. It's just a part of what it is here at Kashmir Hands Academy. So in this space, You don't have to figure it out alone. We need somebody. We need each other. Whether it's my community or somebody else's community, find the community that resonates with you. Drink it all in, understand, feed yourself with the knowledge, and then see where it lands and then implement what works, one thing at a time. Where you could actually, this is the place where you could actually learn how to regulate yourself in real moments, think clearly under pressure, like I said, and start building a life that feels stable and non-reactive. All right? We weren't taught really how to balance a checkbook, how to make money, how to invest, build assets in a portfolio. Why do you think they're rich? It's because that's what they're doing. I'm doing the work for you to get you there. Just take my hand and we'll go to the stairway of heaven. So let's be real and honest a little bit more. A regulated mother, a regulated parent also needs financial stability. We don't have to suffer. There's many, many ways to build multiple streams of income. Because stress doesn't come from emotions. It comes from not feeling secure. Think about it. How's that lower back feeling? How's that stomach? How's the gut? How's the clenched jaws doing? Are your shoulders stuck in your ears? Tinnitus? Ringing? Are your neck always hurts? Hard to get out of bed? Feet cramp? How's your water intake? How's your nutrition? We got to look at all these things to operate. It just doesn't come to us. We were given this and to become well inside of this. And that's what I'm here for. This is where we bridge into making money and online building. I'm also showing women how to start building something online. You hear me do this in my posts if you're following me. Not perfectly and not overnight. It takes time. This is where perspectives need to shift too. I'm building something and I'm accepting it. It may take 10 years, but I'm doing the work. But this is what I've been doing. This is how I operate. I'm determined. When I put my mind to something, I do it. And I do it with diligence and awareness and acceptance. And then I take my rest time and I do what I have to do to take care of my temple and stay regulated. So if you're a mother or parent, especially doing this on your own, I know, and you've been feeling overwhelmed or even scattered and unsupported, I want you to know something. I really want you to know something. You don't have to stay in that place where it feels alone, unheard. Even if you're living with a family that absolutely loves you, sometimes it feels lonely. I know. Believe me, I know. And I'm going to teach you even more, or just assist you in how to take that breath of life and fuel, taking all those emotions, every emotion, and transmute it into your higher self to really stay ignited to the power within, so that every responsibility feels sacred, so that every action step you take feels grounded, aligned, and secure, so that when you're in the presence of others, you may not even have to talk that much anymore. You could just sit there and listen and just be present and enjoy the bonus of your life existence, especially when it becomes challenging with the children or relationships, because it all works together in union, and that's yoga. You're welcome inside my Kashmir Hands community if this hits you and sits with you, or come back and replay it and just take whatever you need out there. We're going to slow down. We're going to ground. Like I said, I'm going to help you build from there. And from that moment on, you are going to learn more about who you are, discover more about who you are, and learn how to see through the truth, speak through your truth, and love through the truth of who you are. Always, every day. And in the beginning, it may feel hard and uncomfortable and like, what is this? That's a part of the journey. Meditate. So if you could get a few things out of this video, awesome. Comment below. Connect with people. Ask me questions. I'm here. But like I say, breathe. And then I have I'm building an Amazon cart. I'm trying to figure that out. But you need one of these Theracanes. These bad boys really get you through those days when you get that knot in that back and you just need Dina's hands on you. This will help you in between the sessions, in between the work we do online. All right? Happy Mother's Day. Enjoy every day. Celebrate well, take a break, and be happy. Namaste.